Isolde and Lina, Lesbian Grace. Whispers of the palace. Once upon a time, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows, stood the grand palace of Dovemere. It was a place where sunlight dripped through stained glass windows, painting the marble floors in hues of sapphire and ruby. But these magnificent chambers held more than just regal finery. Within its hallowed halls resided whispers of love, loyalty, betrayal, and dreams deferred, echoing through the corridors like the ghosts of yesteryears. Amidst this labyrinth of love and loss lived Princess Isolde, a young woman whose name was synonymous with grace and poise. Her emerald eyes held the wisdom of ages, though her years were still green. And her heart, well, it harbored a secret as deep and as true as the sapphires adorning her crowns. You see, Princess Isolde wasn't just a ruler in waiting. She was an artist at heart. Her soul found solace in the soft strokes of a paintbrush, and her canvases were often adorned with fantastical creatures and landscapes that mirrored the turmoil of her heart. But there was a catch, a societal decree that forbade her from unveiling her art to the world. You see, in the kingdom of Dovemere, a princess's emotions were considered a luxury, something to be suppressed rather than expressed. To expose one's heart was seen as a breach of decorum, a flaw in the armor of royalty. Hence, Isolde's art remained hidden, a silent testament to a love she dared not speak of. Now, her days were filled with the usual trappings of royalty, attending banquets, meeting dignitaries, all while keeping her heart locked away in a vault of her own making. Yet amidst the gilded cage of her royal life, there was one solace, the palace library. Here, amidst the musty scent of old books and the soft rustle of turning pages, she could lose herself in tales of distant lands and mythical creatures. It was in this sanctuary that she met Lina, the apprentice of the palace historian. Lina was a wisp of a girl, all elbows and knees and unruly curls the color of midnight. Her eyes were as bright and inquisitive as a starling's, always searching, always learning. From the moment she laid eyes on Isolde, she knew there was something extraordinary about the princess. But she also knew that their worlds were as different as night and day. Still, Lina couldn't help but steal glances at Isolde whenever she delivered scrolls or helped with royal archives. She marveled at the way the princess's face would light up when she discovered a rare manuscript, or the faint blush that would creep up her neck when someone paid her a compliment. One evening, while helping Isolde organize her collection of poetry, Lina found herself lost in the princess's enigmatic gaze. In that shared silence, something unspoken passed between them, a spark of recognition, perhaps, or the echo of kindred spirits long lost. Whatever it was, it set a fire in Lina's heart that burned with a mixture of admiration and longing. As weeks turned into months, their bond deepened, nurtured by stolen moments in the palace library and hushed conversations in moonlit gardens. Isolde found solace in Lina's easy laughter and her thirst for knowledge. And Lina, well, she found inspiration in Isolde's quiet strength and her passion for art. Yet their idyll couldn't last forever. Rumors began to swirl around the kingdom, whispers of a grand ball to be held in the Dovemere Palace, an event that would be the talk of the kingdom for years to come. It was an opportunity for alliances to be forged and for eligible bachelors to vie for Isolde's hand. And as preparations commenced, Isolde's heart sank. She knew that at this ball, her fate, her very heart, would be decided by those whose only interest lay in power and prestige. In the weeks leading up to the ball, the palace was a flurry of activity. Tapestries were dusted, suits of armor polished, and invitations written. Amidst this flurry, Isolde found herself increasingly drawn to Lina. Their bond, once a mere ember, now blazed into a bonfire of emotion. Stolen glances became lingering touches and hushed conversations were laced with half-veiled confessions. Then came the fateful day of the ball. The palace was aglow with candlelight, and the air buzzed with the excitement of the grand event. Lords and ladies clad in finery paraded through the halls, their laughter echoing with merriment. Yet amidst the gaiety, Isolde felt a chill of dread. She knew that tonight her life would change, whether she liked it or not. When it was time for her to get ready, she found herself torn. Part of her wanted to run away, to escape the stifling expectations of her royal life. But another part, a part she had never shown to the world, longed to express herself, to break free from the confines of tradition. In the end, it was the latter that won out. With the help of her ladies-in-waiting, Isolde got ready for the ball. She chose a gown of the deepest emerald, a color that mirrored her own eyes, and allowed her hair to cascade down her back in a waterfall of gold. When she finally stepped out of her chambers, her ladies-in-waiting gasped. Isolde looked every bit a princess, yet there was something different about her, something that made her stand out from the crowd. It was as if she had finally found her voice. Meanwhile, Lina, dressed in a gown of sapphire blue, stood by the balcony railing, watching the arrivals. She had been tasked with documenting the event, and yet her heart wasn't in it. Her eyes were searching for one person and one color, Isolde and Emerald. When she saw the princess descend the palace stairs, her breath caught in her throat. Isolde looked ethereal, and Lina knew that she had to get her act together if she didn't want her feelings to show. The ballroom was a whirl of activity. Gowns swished, lords bowed, and violins played lively tunes. Yet Isolde found it hard to enjoy herself. Her heart was a captive bird, fluttering wildly against its gilded cage. That was until she saw Lina weaving through the crowd, her eyes fixed on the princess. Suddenly, a mischievous grin spread across Isolde's face. She excused herself from a particularly boring conversation and made her way to the balcony. As she stepped out into the cool night air, she found Lina waiting for her, a knowing smile on her lips. "Care to steal away from this prison of finery?" Lina asked, her eyes twinkling. Isolde laughed, a sound that was music to Lina's ears. "Indeed I do. But where would a pauper like me go without my noble steed?" Lina chuckled and gestured to a waiting carriage. "Your Highness, I believe we are about to make a run for it," she said, her voice barely a whisper. Together, they slipped away from the prying eyes of the kingdom, racing through moonlit streets and laughing as they went. They ended up at the Will-O-Wisp Inn, a quaint little place nestled on the outskirts of town. Here, they shed their finery and their masks, revealing the true selves that they had kept hidden for so long. Inside, they shared stories and dreams, hopes and fears, their voices mingling like the notes of a well-played lute. As the night wore on, their bond deepened, and with the first blush of dawn, they realized that they were in love. When the sun finally peeked over the horizon, casting its golden rays over the kingdom, they knew they had to return to the palace. The joy of their stolen night was tinged with the bittersweet realization that their time away had come to an end. Back at the palace, things were in chaos. The king was furious, the queen distraught, and the entire court abuzz with gossip. Yet amidst the uproar, Isolde and Lina found comfort in each other's arms. They knew that their love, though tested, was true. In the end, it was Isolde's mother, the queen, who understood. She saw in Lina a kindred spirit, a fellow traveler on the journey of life who loved her daughter not in spite of her flaws, but because of them. With the queen's blessing, Isolde and Lina's love story became a beacon, illuminating the dark corners of a kingdom that had long been shrouded in secrecy and lies. And so, the tale of Princess Isolde and her love for Lina became a legend, whispered from one generation of royals to the next, a reminder that true love knows no bounds, no social standing, and certainly no palaces.